Hi, everybody. I'm here to discuss a rather unusual film, a hard to find curio that I actually recalled from when I was 9 years old. The movie came out on television in 1972. It was one of those movie of the weeks that would be out. Some of you older people will remember them. They used to have a special feature every week, a made for TV movie. And there were a lot of great movies like that Trilogy of Terror, Stranger in Our House, aka Summer of Fear. I remember The Night Stalker, When Michael Calls, a whole bunch of films like that. Well, I always had a memory in my head. And since this movie I found out was first aired in January of 72 on TV, that would make me 9 years old at the time. And I have only one memory of this movie. And the memory that I have is it's about a young school teacher who is in a small little classroom in a small town. I have one lasting memory that I still retain from 9 years old of a girl student kind of shuffling her feet, walking and dragging her feet through the classroom, but she didn't want to lift her feet. And I wound up seeing that again when I watched the movie. Now, this movie that I just saw for the first time since I was 9 years old was is not available anywhere where you can really get a good copy of it. It's very elusive, a hard to find title. I think it may have come out on videotape at one point. The copy that I saw is available right here for free on YouTube, and unfortunately, it is a horrendous quality copy. I watched it on my 55-inch television screen, so I had to really struggle to see the details, but I knew enough who was on screen and what was going on. It was just very blurred. Um, Actually, when you watch it on your iPhone, if you ever want to look at this, you'll see that on the actual iPhone, being a smaller screen, the quality is actually best. So you might want to watch it on your phone. But this movie has a very, very interesting premise. And although the premise is interesting, and I'm going to tell you what it is, and it may spoil it because to know the outcome of this kind of like ruins it. So if you have any desire to watch this, skip this part, or wait until after you saw the movie because I'm going to spoil it a little bit. All right. It's basically the idea that there's a young woman played by Kim Darby who's a school teacher, and she wants to start her life over again. So she kind of goes to this very little small town, this little community of people, and she wants to bond with the students, the young kids that she's teaching. The town is very much a backward kind of town, old-fashioned, maybe an Amish type of affair, and the people are very reserved. They don't say much. They don't talk much. The young people and the older people. The kids in the school are very resistant to the teacher's plans to try to learn them anything interesting or exciting and have fun. She tries to have them sing along to Old MacDonald Had a Farm. They won't sing. They won't sing. They won't play instruments. They won't do anything. And they also, as I mentioned earlier, walk around the classroom and outside in the on land, shuffling their feet. They drag their feet. And it is finally found out, and here's the spoiler part, that these are actually aliens from another planet who actually came in the 1800s to Earth to find a better home after their planet was met with some kind of catastrophe. And unfortunately, in the 1800s, they were all persecuted as witches and they were killed. A lot of them were killed. There are very few of them left. So in the modern age of the 20th century, they're trying to fit in and stay on Earth and have a life. But in order to do so, they're not letting anybody know what they're all about. They can do things like read minds. They have mental telepathy. They're able to float and levitate. That's why they drag their feet on the ground, because if they don't drag their feet and step kind of normally, they can levitate and rise and float, and they can make objects levitate. They can hypnotize people. Now, none of this is horrific, and none of this is spooky or anything. This is all very nice and pleasant. These are like good aliens. They just want a better life. That's all. And unfortunately, Well, it's a good idea, and it comes from a book, and I'm told the book is much better. But the way it's handled in the film is just very, very dull and boring, I tell you. I mean, because I'm from the 70s, I enjoyed watching it to get that early 1970s vibe. A lot of you people out there who like that stuff and from that time will know what I'm speaking about. But for anybody else, most people just, I dare say younger people today, no explosion, no actions, no horror, no nothing, you're going to be very bored. But you might, who knows, sometimes there's sophisticated people out there that like these kind of things. It is a story and there are characters, so we can watch it for that. Just a shame that it's not a little more exciting in the way it's filmed. This is an idea that's ripe for a new take on it, I guess, in cinema. I will also say that in addition to Kim Darby, you also have William Shatner. And, Kim Darby and William Shatner actually were in a Star Trek episode, I believe it was called Miri. And they've been together before on Star Trek. But William Shatner plays a physician, a doctor in the town, and he's also, we'd say, a regular human, and he doesn't know the secret of these people, but they gradually find out. And the idea is to help them live a better life here on Earth and fit in good and have their little community and not be ostracized or treated differently. So it's really an interesting little film, but because of the handling of it, I can only give it 2 out of 4 stars. But I think it was worth a watch. I'd like to get a copy of this if it ever comes out on a decent quality DVD or Blu-ray. Thanks, everybody.